Hello everyone, and welcome to an opening video on the Hillbilly Gambit. Other than its funny name, this is a fantastic opening to play. All the positions you get are very aggressive, the lines are insanely easy and simple to learn, and even the engine doesn't hate it, which is very rare for gambits. So to start off, I will show you how we actually get to the gambit in the first place. Comes after we play pawn to e4 and black plays pawn to c6 to Caro-Kann Defense, and the move we play here is bishop to c4. At first glance, that might seem a bit odd for white. The point of the Caro-Kann for black is that they will push their d-pawn to d5, and now this comes with tempo on our bishop, like why would we allow this? However, this is actually our entire plan here. The move we play here is bishop back to b-free, completely sacrificing our e-pawn, and this is actually good for a couple of reasons. They will almost certainly take it. I'll show you what to do afterwards if they don't take it. And the reasons that this is good is that, first of all, this e-pawn is extremely weak. In about 90% of the variations here, we will end up winning it back. And the second point is that this b-free bishop is actually very powerful. It's on this b-free square, so it's all the way back here. It's very safe. However, it actually has this monster diagonal here, which will prove to be very useful in the near future. So the move we play here is queen to h5. And the reason we play this is that now we double team on this f7 pawn with our queen and this bishop, and they have to prevent it. If they don't prevent it with, knight to f6, for example, we will just take it, and then we will develop normally, and this is horrible for them. So the only thing that they can really do is either play pawn to g6 and block out our queen, or play pawn to e6 and block out our bishop. Now, g6 is the better move here. However, I will show you e6 as it is a very common response by black. And the move we play here is now knight to c3, targeting this pawn. They will play knight to f6, defending it and attacking our queen. We move our queen back, adding another attacker. And now they really cannot defend it. If they try to defend it with queen to d4, which would be their only option, we actually just end up winning it with knight to f3. If they take our pawn, we take their queen. And they have to move back, at which point we kick their queen again, and then we just end up winning the pawn, and we're actually much better here. So the only thing that they can really do is play bishop to e7 and just sacrifice the entire pawn. So we will take it. Now they will just castle, and after knight to f3, this is a more even position. However, we will get a much more open position, and it's kind of cramped for black. Alright, so other than e6, the other option they have here is to play pawn to g6 and block out our queen. We have to move it, so we move it to h4 and attack this pawn. They will defend it with knight to f6. We play knight to c3, attacking it. And now there are once again two moves that they have here. The first one is to play bishop to f5 and try to hang on this pawn for as long as possible. And the second one is to play bishop to g7 and just say, I don't really care about that pawn, I will get a nice position. The better move here for them is to play bishop to f5. However, bishop to g7 is a very close second and is also played very commonly, so I will show it. If they play bishop to g7, we actually do not want to take this pawn, since if we do end up taking it, then we kind of lose our entire initiative here, our entire, plan. Instead, we play the move pawn to f3. They will almost always take it. We take back with our knight. And after they castle, we simply play d3. And we have a very simple and straightforward plan here. We will play bishop out to h6, we will trade off this bishop here, we will move this knight out to g5, we can castle short and get this open f-file, or you can even castle long and try to get a pawn storm going. There's a lot of options that white has here, and they all involve a nice attack on black's king, and this is overall just a great position for white. So if they play the move bishop to f5 here and try to hang on to their pawn as long as possible, we have a very similar position to the other one. We will play pawn to f3, they will take it, we take back with our knight, and now they play bishop to g7, and it's not the exact same position as before, but it is very similar, and we have all the same ideas. We will play pawn to d3, and after they castle, we have bishop to h6, and once again, all the same ideas. Take it, move our knight in, castle either way, yada yada yada. So that is all you need to know for the main lines if they do end up accepting our gambit. However, there's also one more thing that they can do, which is not accepting it with either pawn to e6 or knight to f6. If they play knight to f6, then the move we play here is pawn to e5, shoving it forward. We force their knight back to d7, at which point we will play d4 and c3, and we just have a very nice pawn chain here. Yeah, we have We're going to develop this knight out, we're going to castle, and this is just a very nice position. If they play the alternative, pawn to e6, then we have a very similar position. We play pawn to e5, c3, and we once again build up with this d4 push. We get this nice pawn chain, we will develop with knight to f3, castle, and it's in really similar position to the other one. Alright, so that is all you need to know to play the Hillbilly Gambit. Let me know what you thought of it, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I will see you next time.